and welcome on back to She's Diabetic. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Andrea. I have been a type 1 diabetic for over 20 years, and this is just a channel all about that, my life with type 1 diabetes. So if you're new here, welcome. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, and remember to hit the notification bell if you are already subscribed to know when I am uploading new content, which tends to be every other Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you who do not know him, this is my fiance, David.
Hi.
Yes, I suppose, you know, first and foremost, we got engaged.
Yes.
I asked over on Instagram when we got engaged, which was definitely several months ago, but I asked over on Instagram what you guys might be interested in asking us. We've done a couple of these kind of videos where we talk about just our relationship with type 1 diabetes playing a role in it. So if you're interested, those will be linked up above and down below. But today we are taking on your questions. So we're gonna get through as many as humanly possible, but also if we touch on a topic that you'd like expanded upon, let me know down below. So first up, a question from That Coda Type 1. If you eat low carb, do you tend to eat the same exact meals or do you add carbs for him? We do tend to eat the same meals. Mostly because, what do you cook? Oh, okay,
what?
That's right.
Eggs?
We do tend to eat the same meals because I do most of the cooking. But yes, sometimes I will swap out carbs. So if we're doing like a stir fry, sometimes you'll do regular rice with it or brown rice with it, and I'll serve mine over cauliflower rice. Next up, Eleanor Boland Music asks, what does David feel the most important thing for a partner of T1D is to know?
There could be a lot of different answers to this question because so many different things are important and important in different ways. Just knowing the difference between lows and highs and how that affects them in different ways. For example, if Andrea's super low, we're not gonna like walk to the movie theater. And then the opposite's true too. If you're super high, she could be like, oh, I wanna, you know, go for a walk to walk this off. And also sort of related to this is, as a partner, understanding that diabetics, I don't know how you deal with this. You have to eat or not eat depending on your blood sugar, not according to whether you want to or not. So I really don't know because you'll be like, oh, I'm low, and you'll eat, and you'll be like, oh, I'm low, I'll have some glucose tablets. Oh, I'm low, and you're not enjoying it, but you just have to. So to understand that.
I think actually this is such a great point because basically that's where our heads have to be.
Yeah.
Am I going high? Am I going low? Where's my number at? Where's it going to be in the next hour, next 3 hours, next 6 hours? What am I doing in the next 10 minutes that's going to affect it? You know, that's where we're constantly calculating. When you say to know when your partner's low or high, that almost puts you in the perspective and an understanding of where my head might be.
Yeah.
If I'm low, we're about to go to a movie, and I'm sitting down, it would be really frustrating to me if you were like, okay, come on, we gotta go.
Even though I do that.
Yes, for sure. You do, for sure.
I've never done.
No, it's all the time. It's that, putting that pressure when you know a person is already in a pressureful position because of the low, that just allows you to kind of extend a little bit more empathy.
Yeah. Okay, here's an example of what I was talking about Andrea and having to eat little bits at different times. This is what was once a loaf of bread. So I go to make a sandwich today, to pull out a piece of bread, and I get this. See this? Is that reasonable? I don't think so.
Listen, I only needed that much.
This is what this bread.
No!
No sandwich.
There's a whole other loaf. There was a whole other loaf. He was just fine. Kind of fancy a little bread now, but just like a quarter.
You can just eat the rest. Okay, the next question is from Lausch1, and it asked, have you talked about biological kids, a type 1 diabetic kid potential? Sad face.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
We discovered via online searches, the chances if you're a man with type 1 diabetes, the chances of your kid developing it is 1 in 17. If you're a woman having a child before you are 25, your child's risk is 1 in 25. If your child is born after you turn 25, your child's risk is 1 in 100. Have we talked about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it something that we're particularly worried about?
No.
Maria_Marowski. Are there times when you get frustrated when David tries to help you? No, never. I really don't. It's not, but it's also not like he's breathing down my neck. Like, can I do anything to help? What's going on? What's going on? What's up? It's not
No,
like that.
I don't do that.
No, it's not like
That
that.
doesn't sound like
No, don't change. Don't change! Ducksnap Surthy asks, did David and you have a hard time finding the balance between support/independence?
I don't think we really had a hard time.
Yeah.
Early on, I was totally clueless, so I didn't know what was going on. I guess the longer you're with someone who has type 1, the more you learn. And definitely using Dexcom Share, that's super helpful. Because early on, I'd be like, oh, I saw your blood glucose levels at, 50. Like, oh, are you okay? Or it was super high, it was like 300. But after a while, I thought it might be sort of like annoying to Andrea, to be honest. Even though I wasn't trying to be like, oh my God, you need to like eat, or, oh, you need to not eat. I was just commenting on it basically. But then one day Andrea actually said, you haven't asked me about my blood sugar in a while.
I was furious.
No. And I actually said like, well, I sort of thought I was kind of annoying you.
Actually, I think one of the reasons why, and we're not perfect by any stretch, but we work quite well. We both have a very similar independence level that is incredibly high. So we're both very independent people, and we both like our own space, but we also like to be supported in very similar ways, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So I think we get a lot of this for free just because of being matched well personality-wise. I think assessing your partner's level of independence throughout their whole life and then sort of applying it to your involvement or whatever with type 1 diabetes is maybe a good jumping off point, but again, it's so personal. So this is just us.
Okay, the next question is from AMIDI23, and it asks, my fiance is type 1 and I am not. Welcome to the club. How do I respectfully ask him to share his Dexcom data with me? How did you ask me?
I don't really know.
I don't really know either. I think you just told me.
I think you didn't know it was an option, then I told you about it.
I definitely didn't know it was an option.
And you were like, oh, sweet.
So you must have just told me, you can download this app and watch, and I was like, of course.
Yeah.
Sounds sweet.
I would say if he's not volunteering it, there's no problem for you to ask. I don't know, just ask. He can say yes or no. That is also totally within his right. Some people are more protective over their information, which is understandably so. I'm assuming you don't want to weaponize that information, but I think the only trepidation someone has when they are thinking about sharing or not sharing their Dexcom or any other CGM that they may have the ability to share is that they're worried their partner is going to weaponize that. Why did you go high? Why did you go low? What's going on with you? Why aren't you taking better care of yourself? What did you have for lunch? Why did you have that? I saw you went out to eat. You shouldn't have done, you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't think you're doing that. But I think that's the fear. So if you think he's going to have a problem with it, to kind of be like, I just want to know. I'm just interested. It's part of you, and I want to be included in that if you would let me.
Okay, the next question is from Ange, ANG01503. Does it affect him knowing that this is something you will always have to live with? Yeah, it affects me knowing that it's something that, isn't going to go away. But it's just such a part of your life, especially because you run a channel about it, but also because it's something you deal with every day, and because you deal with it, I see it all the time. I wouldn't say it affects me, negatively. I feel bad for you, to be honest. It sucks.
As you should.
Yeah.
Very sad for me all the time.
I'm very sad for you at all times. So it does affect me, but really it's just our reality, and we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
The next question is from Bian Kasarasi. How does he feel when others make those silly comments about being a diabetic? Before I was dating / now engaged to a type 1 diabetic, I had no opinion. Now that I'm engaged to a type 1 diabetic, I don't feel good about those comments, but I also I'm not judging people for making it. Like, I get it. Like, I was there once. People who aren't in the world of diabetes, you think diabetes and like sugar, they're so closely related, and now it's almost like the media has trained people to think if you eat a bunch of sugar, oh, you're gonna become a diabetic, and it's like a funny joke. Yeah, so I definitely noticed the silly comments. I've definitely brought this up to you before.
Yeah.
I don't get like outraged, but I definitely noticed them.
Mm-hmm. Next up, Manal Asiri 1413. Hello, Manal. You've asked great questions before as well. How much do you let David help with your diabetes? I'm trying to figure out how to involve my husband. So personal. I'm a very independent person. We've touched on this already. I think not really on the whole am I asking for help, nor am I yearning for it. But at the same time, like, there are times when I'm tired at night and I'll like get into bed and have a low or something like that, and I will sort of be like, I gotta get a juice box. And what I'm insinuating
it's very
is,
clear.
David, could you get me juice box, please?
It's not.
But like I have too much pride to ask for it, so I insinuate it with like stating it. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, but otherwise, basically, you just sort of handle it on your own.
Yeah, which I had to do it before I met you. It's in my nature, so.
Yeah, but you get to complain to me about it, which is probably helpful.
Yeah, I complain about the sass.
Diabetes sass.
Diabetes sass, that's what we call it. Yeah. So much sass from diabetes.
Sass,
a lot of sass.
The next question is from Immerdo. Has he ever tried to count his carbs just to kind of see what a part of a day in your life is like? No. I have never done that. I don't think I've ever thought about that.
Next up, Adam_7 asks, how did you go about telling him? You forgot? Okay, please. Senile?
You texted me, right?
Yeah, I basically blurted it out on the dating app that we met on. I was just like, I live with type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, but to you, it was a huge deal.
The biggest.
And to me, I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what it was. I've heard of it. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it was way bigger for you than it was for me because I didn't know anything about type 1 diabetes.
Exactly.
I knew like you had to take insulin and like prick your finger.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
Yeah.
I think I knew that at the time.
That actually leads us on to our next question, which is from Christine Welch 52. Hello, Christine. How can I educate my husband as to the seriousness of type 1 without scaring him to death? That's a really great question. It's really personal. It's really personal because you don't want to scare someone, especially your partner, but at the same time, you want them to be on the same page as you. So I think that's where it comes in, that it's very personal, because you go, I see this as very serious. I want this to be taken seriously, and therefore I want my partner to feel the same.
I mean, I guess I would say you just have to be honest.
I think honesty is a really important point. I think it's honesty mixed with facts. The facts are X, Y, and Z. These are the dangers of living with type 1 diabetes. These are the dangers of low blood glucose, what have you. Those are the facts. But then how you feel about it and expressing that to your partner, I think, is very important.
And it also helps me to know what I can do if something happens to you.
Yeah.
As someone who doesn't live with type 1 diabetes, I don't know everything about it like someone who has it does, like Andrea. And even though she's really well controlled, if she goes extremely high or really, really low, overnight, or she, I don't know, passes out, it's really scary. So as a partner, even though it is scary, you want to sort of have the knowledge to know what to do if it happens, I think.
Yeah. I think that's a really great point. And actually that takes it a step further, because you go, this is the seriousness of it. I want to share that with you. I want to share my thoughts, feelings, concerns, everything like that with you. And at the same time, let's put into practice ways that you can support me and you can help assuage my fears.
Yeah.
Say if going low overnight is a fear, teaching your partner how to do a glucagon shot, or teaching them what the signs would be, sharing your CGM values with them, you know, putting into practice those coping mechanisms to underpin the seriousness of it. But I think if you go, you know, diabetes is really serious, it's such a broad statement that you kind of need to get into like the nitty-gritty of it. But you know, you guys know how you communicate and how best you communicate. So I would say lean into those things and just be honest.
Type 1 Chelsea asked, does he come with you to medical appointments? Also love you and the things you do. No, I never have. You've never asked me, but I've also never offered. So
Yeah.
I would if you wanted me to.
We've only just got so much going on.
Yeah. I never even thought about going with one.
Available artist asked, will I be married? I have type 1 diabetes and I'm from India, and here people see type 1 diabetes as a disease. Well, obviously, type 1 diabetes and diseases in general or whatever are seen differently in different cultures, different religions, different ways all over the world. I can only speak to how I've been very, very lucky to feel accepted and to feel able to be empowered living with type 1 diabetes and not like it's something I need to hide. There is no reason people should judge you with type 1 diabetes. It's not your fault, and it's not something to be ashamed of at all. But I know that is my reality, and if I could share that with you, make you see that, I would. Will you be married? There's nothing that should stop you from being married and should stop you from finding love, living a wonderful, great life, married or not, just connecting with people. There is nothing wrong with you if you live with type 1 diabetes, and there's nothing that you need to be ashamed of or make you think that you're going to live less of a life or have less opportunities because of it. Yeah, I'm really sorry you're being made to feel that way. I suppose the best thing you can do is just know your worth and your value in your own mind and act accordingly. You can't change what other people think, but you can change the way you feel about it. So I would encourage you to just know all the things. You're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you. If anything, it's just another interesting fact about you. I hope that comes across, and I hope you know that you deserve and will have the world, and that's it. So there we have it. Those are your Qs and RAs. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yeah, no problem.
And for being a willing participant.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you have anything that you'd like us to elaborate on, let us know down below. Totally up for making more of this type of content. And if you have any other questions in general, also put those down below. And I will try to keep an eye out, and we can keep the Q&As rolling. I'm wishing you guys a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Great blood sugars, straight CGM lines, all of that good stuff. Happy hearts and partnerships, and just hearts in general. You don't have to be in a partnership to have that. But yeah, wishing you a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Well, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Okay.